So my name's Caroline and I look after marketing and new business here at Enhanced. And
I'm Lewis. I'm an account manager here at Enhanced, and I've been working in the industry for 13 years.
So here's a quick roundup of the agenda for today. I will do a quick introduction on who we are as a company and then hand over to Lewis, who will look at what a virtual IT director service offers, what to expect from customer service within an IT company, look at a robust security offering, and then finally Microsoft 365. And in the name of keeping this as engaging as possible, even with Microsoft, we have a member of our team on hand throughout the session who will take questions over either the chat, which is transparent to all participants, or you could use the Q&A chat, which is private and can be seen only by us hosts. So as an IT company, we feel it's really important to offer a holistic service under the banner of IT support. So that includes a fully managed service, a co-managed service, and both of those offerings including consultancy as part of the packages. We're also very well versed in moving our clients to the cloud. And then we offer a variety of security programs to fit the needs of our clients. We also have in-house architects and engineers. So doing complex networking projects is something that we've been doing for the 30 years that we've existed. And then we offer the standard service of compute and storage, and then the addition of Teams Phone, as we're a Microsoft partner and as clients are moving away from having a traditional handset on their desks. So we like to think that most IT partners do work with a broad range of sectors. So that is us. We have hundreds of clients. Some have 20 users, others have 1,000 users. So you may recognise a couple of the names on our screen. But we are very much tailored to independent needs of the client. As part of our service, we're really passionate about offering a virtual IT director provision. So we would like to think that most tech companies would see these pillars as areas where they can really support the areas in business where there are pain points or where there's a real desire to either grow, to become more efficient in the day-to-day processes, for there to be more collaboration across teams, both internally and externally. And then a lot of our clients request security as an addition, which really underpins a lot of the infrastructure work that we put in place for the majority of the people that we work with.
Just to go and kind of explain how strategic planning works with us as part of our virtual IT director service. So we work alongside a number of businesses. Some of those will have an in-house IT team of say 2 or 3 people, while others is a fully outsourced model. For both entities, it's working alongside the wider business. So if we're working with a company that has an IT team, it's sitting alongside them to understand what the pain points are day to day for their users. It's then building that business case so that the directors can fully understand the implications of those issues. So this strategic document is traditionally 1 or 3 or 5 years, depending on what the business requires. It's making sure that we're aligning that strategy to the key business objectives. So whilst IT may be dealing with keeping the lights on, it's understanding the wider business, what are the changes that they're making over the next few years, and making sure that IT is aligned to facilitate that growth. Standardization of IT is important for the fact that you do not want to be in a position where there's say shadow IT because you're not facilitating all the functions and providing all the solutions to your customers that they expect. It's making sure that we're driving the business forward and facilitating users to do their business day to day. Making sure that we're creating an efficient environment. So looking at things like 365 to make sure we're making the best value of that. Underpinning all this, as Caroline said, is cyber security, and this is becoming an important function for people to do business. A lot of businesses and their customers that they're working with are required to have certifications such as Cyber Essentials Plus in order to transact. It's also important we look at the resilience of IT, making sure that businesses have correct business continuity and disaster recovery solutions in place to make sure that they're up and running at all times. So moving on from that virtual IT director service is understanding what an IT provider should be doing from a customer service standpoint to ensure that all of the aspects from a user standpoint are taken into consideration. We believe that all IT providers should be looking at a continual improvement. At no point as a business kind of moved on and reached a standard that they can then maintain. It's making sure that we're taking continual feedback. So we expect that businesses should be able to provide feedback from number of different measures. So we conduct biannual customer satisfaction surveys. So these go to key parties within the business. We also have separate surveys for understanding what the situation is with account management and what customers' experience is kind of annually with that. Every project that we complete is understanding how that project was conducted and any findings and future recommendations we can take forward with regards to the service provided on that. Service desk, every ticket that's raised is providing ample feedback for users. With our dedicated service delivery manager, every ticket that we receive that's neutral or negative is raised with her to look at so we can make sure that we're delivering excellent service at all times. And fundamentally, it's making sure that we're having dedicated meetings with our customers. So both from a service delivery standpoint, as well as a strategic standpoint that we discussed earlier. So as a business, we believe it's important that IT providers provide their customers a number of points of access within the business. So day to day, maybe speaking to a service desk analyst, but if something's been misconstrued around the priority that a ticket may be raised with yourselves, is having that escalation point. So for ourselves, we offer both the service desk manager and a service delivery manager to be able to escalate those service requests. Commercial requests are dealt with by account managers such as myself, as well as our internal account management team that deals with run rate hardware. So you're getting optimal performance from our team. During the virtual IT director piece that we also offer director level sponsorship. This means that our directors, our CEO, can attend director meetings with your business so that there can be an understanding at a commercial level. So as mentioned earlier, communications when we're supporting our customers are imperative for user feedback. So every ticket that's raised, we expect that a priority should be given to that. As mentioned earlier, if something is misconstrued by our service desk, you've got clear visibility of what priority we've deemed that at and have the ability to escalate if we've misunderstood that requirement. The middle ticket is a completion ticket. So as you can see below, it gives the option to provide quick feedback for the end user. And finally, it's making sure that we're having continual communication with our customers. So the right-hand image here is showing our new user and new build process. So this is based on a traditional delivery model. So for instance, your online services, if you're working with a retailer, it's making sure that you understand when you place your order, when is the hardware received with us, when are we building the machine, and when you can expect that machine to be with you. So you can see that from beginning to end. It's also important that you have clear reports on how a service provider is offering their services. So how are they competing against SLA? Also looking at this more holistically, so you understand what are the volumes of tickets you're raising, but also what those tickets consist of, which is imperative to make sure that we're looking at long-term fixes for our customers. So moving on to security now. We're looking at what a service provider should be offering day to day. So security managed services are a fundamental requirement for businesses moving forward. So we offer a wide variety of services here, but fundamentally, we're looking at making sure that customers are maintaining Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus, and also moving beyond that. So services that include within the service that we offer are vulnerability scanning. So it's looking at all software across the business, making sure that that's up to date and any devices have any known vulnerabilities patched. And we use a dedicated piece of software to facilitate that alongside our dedicated management team that do the vulnerability patching. Cyber awareness training. This is something that we've been looking at with our customers for quite some time and something that we use internally. It's quite a well-known fact that most breaches are now taking place from user interaction. Rather than people breaking through your firewall, it's actually someone letting your attack it into the business themselves, normally through a phishing attack. So the service that we offer provides 4 emails per month to all users. That's covering both external simulated threats and also ones that mimic internal emails. The solution, what if a user clicks on one of these emails, is logged within the software so that we can provide reporting to you to understand any users that are interacting with that. But more importantly, providing them pertinent training that's related to the type of phishing attack they received. It's also worth noting that it also will look at the interactions that a user has made. So if it's a password reset that's simulated, it would see that you've engaged with the email, you've gone through to a fake password reset page, and then you've entered your credentials. The important thing is making sure that users understand the risks that are made to them day to day.
So 90% of breaches happen via email, and a lot of business owners see cyber awareness training as a lesser priority, and we really feel that that is paramount to having the most robust security landscape.
Additional services that we offer as part of our service is dark web monitoring. So this looks at any user credentials that may have been leaked onto the dark web. Typically, this is a breach of another provider. So for instance, if a user has an account with something like Dropbox, for instance, if they've been breached themselves, your password and credentials may have been leaked as part of that. Also, we're looking at anything that data from your business that may have been leaked onto the dark web. So looking at your names and details so we can provide you the evidence that that data may exist. Onwards from that, I will discuss this further, is our Microsoft 365 hardening service. This is looking at your Microsoft Secure Score and also making sure that we're enforcing MFA correctly for users. And as discussed previously, this is all to make sure that we're meeting Cyber Essentials Plus for our customers. So anyone that's Cyber Essentials Plus already, as part of the service, will maintain that service through the 12 months. So you're not paying additional remediation costs at the end of each year. You're just paying for the certification with the auditor. So as discussed before, Microsoft Secure Score is becoming a more pertinent question that we're seeing on cyber insurance forms. So this is a set of recommendations that Microsoft make kind of month to month on what your Microsoft 365 tenant should have enabled to provide the best security possible. We expect our customers to be meeting 70% or above, if possible, depending on the licenses that they have. It's worth noting that if you've got third-party security tools, for instance, email security, you're able to input this into the service, so you're not having to rely on Microsoft products day to day for those particular functions. It's also worth noting the use of conditional access. So conditional access is a function within Microsoft 365 and within the Entra ID solution that allows you to provide other measures of access. So for instance, if your devices are enrolled into Office 365, you're able to say that only company trusted devices are allowed access to specific services. Finally, kind of wrapping up security is managed extended detection and response. So this is a suite of tools that goes beyond just traditional, say, antivirus and firewalls. This is looking at holistically bringing all of those logs and information from all of your services, whether it's your on-site firewalls, your cloud services such as 365, and looking at that holistically with a 24/7 security operations team to make sure that they can understand the full threat that's possible to your business at any point in time. So this service is an additional service that a lot of our customers are now asking us for. Finally, wrapping up the kind of main session of today is talking about Microsoft 365 and making sure that businesses are best using the tools available to them. So just a quick run through of some of the services that you may or may not be aware of within 365. So a lot of these services you may already be paying existing or other providers for, or have other teams that have bought services outside of IT. So for instance, Microsoft Forms on our far left here is equivalent or similar to that of SurveyMonkey. So ability to poll our customers and provide individual forms, etc. Moving on from that is Microsoft Booking, similar to Calendly. Entra, Viva Engage, which is similar to a social media network for businesses. To-Do, which is a personal to-do list, which is similar to Asana. Microsoft Planner, which is for teams to be able to plan collectively and make sure that you're managing your resources, which is similar to Monday.com. And finally, Microsoft Loop, which is similar to Notion, and this allows you to have an individual project, bring all of the elements, all of the documents, so for instance, Word documents for proposals, presentations, and being able to work on that collectively. So for a lot of our businesses that sit kind of within 300 users or less, we're recommending Business Premium. A lot of businesses that are using 365 are traditionally using just it for Office, maybe for your mail and SharePoint. But as you can see from the screen below, you've got a much wider set of tools available, and we'll discuss some of those later on. For those businesses that have workers that sit traditionally outside of what you would call an IT user, Microsoft offer frontline worker licenses. These are cheaper licenses designed for people like till workers or delivery drivers, etc. They may need access to email or online services, but don't need the full suite of tools. So these are provided at a substantial discount, but have, say, a smaller email box of 2 GB instead of 50. So I just wanted to cover a couple of the elements within that slide that we think are really important for businesses to understand. So Microsoft Entra ID, which was previously Azure AD, provides a number of key services to customers. So identity management, so this is replacing a traditional domain controller and Active Directory, so providing a centralized credentials for logins. Alongside that is identity protection. So Microsoft offer a suite of tools again to look at risk management. So it can basically look at the risk score that it factors when you try to log in. So if you log in from 2 different locations within a period of time, you can do a function called impossible travel. So it looks at if you could possibly travel within 2 places in that time and flag that as a concern and provide a lockdown of that account, and conditional access we've discussed earlier. Microsoft Intune. This is a suite of tools, again, to provide both device management and application management. So day to day, we can basically build machines straight from Microsoft 365. You could provide a device straight from a supplier, have the user log in, and it then push down the applications and settings to that device automatically. It also gives the option to remote wipe that machine if a user doesn't return their device after being removed from the business, or they lose that device on the train, for instance. And finally, Microsoft Purview, which is a suite of tools for information governance. This allows you to label data. So for instance, internal documentation, you can label that as internal documentation and then use a data loss prevention policy to say, this document is for internal use only, do not allow this to be emailed externally. The other benefit of this, if you send a document to one of your customers and you want to retract that, because it requires that user to log in against the document, you can retract that document, unlike an email where you've sent the request and everyone knows that email has already been looked at that point in time. Moving on from that, you also have the ability to make sure that you've got data loss prevention on individual machines. With users working remotely more and more, you have the ability to say, if a user is outside of the office, they cannot print confidential documents, for instance. And the other element we're seeing increasing access and requests around 365 is Microsoft Teams and making sure that we're providing collaborative spaces. So this meeting today is taking place on a Microsoft Rooms solution, and this is something that we're seeing all of our customers that are looking at new offices putting in place. So this provides an easy way for hybrid working businesses to have people within the office, externally adding, and customers in one single workspace. In addition to that is the ability to add Microsoft Teams Phone, replacing a traditional phone system, bringing the two areas together to deliver a truly unified communication system. And finally, Caroline will wrap up around our Microsoft solutions from a software perspective.
Yeah, so when you're looking for an IT partner, or maybe you have one at the moment, it's quite unique that they might do infrastructure as well as solutions. So as a Microsoft partner, we sit ourselves in that camp. So we have two divisions, one that handles all of the projects and services that Lewis talked about today. And then we also offer Dynamics Business Central and the CRM. So that means that we can provide really good communication across the teams. If people implement a finance system with us or a CRM system with us, we have a separate support team for solutions, but that support team works heavily and knows the IT support team within infrastructure. So there's a large amount of synergy that goes on, which is a very unique offering in itself. So in terms of Business Central, it offers the core finance processes as well as it covers purchasing, inventory, and it also has a manufacturing function. So the higher level is the MRP version.